3 p.m., we'll also serve you guys some beer and beverages, all right? So before that, we'd like to take some time to introduce some of our newest products and some of our newest services to you guys. And today I will be the presenter, and my topic will be on intelligent, flexible, scalable system power solutions. Because meanwhile, we do power supplies, and at Meanwhile, we are also moving to provide customers with system-level solutions that can be integrated and be designed to solve your problems, become a plug-and-play power solution. All right. So today, I will first go over the importance of power solutions. Why are we talking about power solutions, right? And I'll give you guys an overview of what kind of power solutions we're working with and what I mean by the power solutions. And I will go over some case sharing, some real case studies with you guys. And then finally, I'll give you guys an introduction on Meanwhile, your solutions provider. So, to answer the question, why power solutions? Okay? So, Meanwhile, we do power supplies. But power supplies are just components to your bigger systems. You have to devote engineering resources to design the power supplies, to hook up the wires, to communicate with the power supplies. So with the power solutions, we're able to help you guys address those issues and save your engineering time and improve your time to market. So first of all, by working with Meanwhile, you're able to increase the reliability of the system that you come up with. Meanwhile has years and years of experience, over 40 years now, in the power industry. And we are very experienced in working with high power products, high voltage products, and we can work with the thermal, the wiring, the installation, so they will be all suitable for your system. And also, we can come up with very flexible solutions, because at Meanwhile, we have over 15,000 different SKUs that are standard off the shelf. And with those SKUs at the heart of the power solutions, we can come up with very flexible solutions. If you need different voltages, you need different power levels, if you need different mounting versions, we can come up with that. So all of that comes down to the time to market for your customers and for you guys, because we will be able to handle the power solution design for you, and we'll be able to select the most suitable power supplies for your specific needs. And at the end of that, you'll be able to ultimately boost the performance of your system, whether it's from a efficiency perspective or a cost perspective. So what's power solutions? So power solutions is basically customized solutions based on standard off-the-shelf products, off-the-shelf power supply products. And we're leveraging the expertise with Meanwhile's expertise on power supply applications and power supply safety. All of our products are UL certified, and we have international safety for global market access for our customers. So we're very experienced in the power supply application. And based on your specific application, we can come up with the most suitable mounting, the most suitable power level, the most suitable voltage to provide and address those issues for you guys. And the last but not least, we can leverage Meanwhile's value network. Meanwhile, we specialize in power supplies. We work with vendors to do our enclosures, to do our fans, to do our peripheral accessories. And by leveraging those resources, we can help cut down the time and the cost for your specific design by incorporating the same supplier, and we can act as your one-stop shop. So the power solutions interview, and why it's important, okay? So first of all is intelligence. So with intelligence, Meanwhile, we are able to offer our CMU2 products, the power supply monitoring devices that can communicate with our intelligent power supplies through CAN bus, PM bus, or other I2C protocols. It's able to access information, a plethora of information on the power supplies, from very basic things like your output, input voltages, to power monitoring, to accessing the fan speed, to access the temperature internally to the power supplies. So with these intelligent power supplies and intelligent controller solutions that we provide, it's able to provide a lot of information insight into your application. Customers will be able to develop preventative maintenance or system level monitoring that can help with the whole operation and cut down their cost from maintenance or repair cost perspective. And what's on display here is what our latest controller unit, the CMU2. It comes with a 7-inch LCD touch panel, and it comes in both the rack mount. So the rack mount version is actually in the rack demo that's next to me. So the top of the unit is the CMU2. So that's the rack mount version that comes with the touch buttons that will be easy for the operators to access at the production line. So meanwhile, we actually use this specific unit to track the burn-in data at our factory when we do burning on all of our power supplies. We'll be able to track the time, the model number, and then the energy consumed to monitor any irregularities during the power consumption or during the operation. So on top of that, this unit supports RS-232, RJ45, and other USB serial connections to interface with the customer's end system. So in terms of communication with power supplies, again, it supports most of the protocols that meanwhile power supplies are enabled for, such as PM bus, CAN bus, and Modbus. Okay? And we're designing specific firmware as well and user interfaces to target more variety of end user applications, from the large equipment machinery such as a 3D printer to horticulture. Centralized lighting is very popular for horticulture lighting nowadays, to EV charging, battery manufacturing as well, and then lastly telecom. So these are some example applications that can use the intelligent monitoring features. And next is flexibility. So with Meanwhile, as I mentioned, we have over 15,000 different SKUs. And within those SKUs, we have AC to DC power supplies, chargers, as well as DC-AC inverters or DC-DC converters. And recently, we've also launched grid-tied inverters as well as bidirectional power supplies that can take the AC power charge batteries and then discharge batteries to feed back and recycle those energy back to the AC grid. So with all these different variety of power supplies, we're able to combine them into the system power. The case I have shown here, I'll go into more details, but it actually has inverters, an inverter charger inside that is powered by batteries. In terms of scalability, meanwhile, we have sourced standard off-the-shelf racks, 19-inch U racks. So ranking from 15U all the way to 30U as standard off-the-shelf solutions. But we're also able to provide smaller, such as 9U, 5U racks, or even higher, up to 42U. We've worked with a customer that used up to 42U high rack mount. And then we're able to install different variety of power supplies, as I mentioned earlier in the last slide. Power supplies, inverters, grid-tied inverters, all kinds of solutions and components inside to enable your end application. So in terms of the 1U high power supplies, with the 30U cabinet, we can scale up to 320 kilowatts. And then with the 2U solution, 2U products, such as the one you see on the table on the left here, the SHP product family, we can go up to over 360 kilowatts. And at the heart of this is the Meanwhile engineering and expertise. Because for customers to work with power supplies this high power, this high current, they need to consider not just how to lock it in. They need to worry about the wiring. They need to worry about if the bus bars are sufficient to support over thousands of amps of current. So at Meanwhile, we're able to help you guys integrate the whole system and then also come up with the ultimate solution to drive your high power and sophisticated machinery. So moving to case sharing. So on screen here, I'm showing one of our recent customers that we did a 130 kilowatt power cabinet to power their hydrogen electrolysis equipment. So what they needed was a 55 volt power source that is able to support constant current output and up to 2,000 amps. That's a lot of current, right? And we had to use bus bars that are very thick, and then we paralleled all of the power supplies internally with bus bars, and then we also developed custom solutions that extended the bus bar outside of the cabinet for the customer to wire their devices to. We custom drilled those holes for the customer based on how many of the hydrogen electrolysis leads they needed to power, which was 8 in this case. So each of those bus bars have 4 holes on them to support 8 sets of the equipment. And combined with the power supply, we also added one of our CMU2 controller that I mentioned earlier that provides the intelligent aspect of the controls. So customer is able to see and track the operating times, the power consumptions, and then also the input voltage from the grid. So inside of this cabinet, we actually installed 8 of SHP30K 50 power supplies. Each of them can output up to 30,000 watts of power. And then with them combined, and then we have some derating, so it ultimately supports the 130 kilowatt power the customer needed. And then as you can see, we also have some blank panels on the 19-inch U rack. This is to be reserved for the future expansion that the customer is planning. So with their next generation product, they can use the same rack, but we just need to go and add more of these SHP30K power supply modules inside in order to supply more power. Okay, and then what the customer gets at the end is an ultimate solution that he's ready to use. It's a plug-and-play solution. So if you see on the picture on the right side, customer just needs to hardwire from their circuit breaker to the cabinet, and then they wire their load to the bus bars that are on the output side as well. So they don't need to worry anything about how to install the power supplies, how to communicate with the power supplies, or how to wire up the power supplies. We got that all covered for the customer. Next case sharing is a bit more basic. This is a customer that was doing an electric conduit bender, and they needed about 2,500 watt of power supply. But what's interesting is that in the picture on the right side here that you see has one of the Meanwhile UHP 2500 24 power supplies inside to power their motor. On top of that though, all of the components in the picture that you see here are also sourced from our partners, the Meanwhile network partners, from the enclosure to the wires to the fans to all the connectors. So again, what the customer received was a solution that is ready to use. Just wire up to their machine, and then they're able to connect and get power within seconds of receiving the units. They don't need to worry about how to mount the power supply, how to power it up, what voltage they're going to get. They don't need to worry about any of that. Meanwhile, we have the off-shelf solutions for that. And here's just some of the other cases of things that we can do and support customers locally in North America. So first of the case is a 19 kilowatt battery charger. It's a battery charging station that was built purposely, specifically built for a warehouse robotic manufacturer. This is a fast charger for their warehouse robots. And meanwhile, work with the customer to develop the enclosure from the paint finish to the color to the intelligent controllers that went inside the charger. It interfaces with the robot to provide the charging current that's demanded by the robot. And then in the middle is a UPS solution. It's a relatively simple solution, but what we're doing is combining one of Meanwhile's DIN-rail UPS power supplies that is able to charge and discharge batteries in case of emergency where the AC power is lost. And we paired with the UPS unit some batteries. We packaged it together, turned this into a bigger UPS solution that is DIN-rail mountable and has built-in batteries. Everything came pre-wired for the customer. They just installed into their cabinet, and then they hooked it up, and then they got power that they needed. And on the right side is a special case where the customer needed a field serviceable power supply that is certified to UL 61010-1. So meanwhile, we developed a solution around our enclosure power supply, which is originally just a component power supply, a UL recognized component. But we developed custom input modules and output covering to meet all the certification requirements, and then we certified locally for the customer in order to meet their fast time to market demand. All right, enough said about the power solutions. So we also offer other value-added solutions for the standard power supplies. I mentioned we have over 15,000 different SKUs, right? Even if not one of those 15,000 meets your requirements, we're also able to locally quickly modify those for you guys to meet your requirements. Some of the services we do include adding the connectors or changing the adapter connectors to output voltage and current adjustment, to adding junction boxes, or to conformal code the power supplies. We have customers that have environmental challenges that they need the power supplies or components to be conformal coded. We can do that locally at our Kansas City facility. And we also have models that have optional PM bus or CAN bus selections. We can modify those locally as well, okay? And then lastly, for demo, we have one of our UPS systems here. So what this system does is internally, it has two of our NTN5K, inverter charger. So the inverter charger, normally operation is able to operate in AC bypass mode. So it takes an AC input from the grid, and it's able to provide up to 5 kilowatt of charging to the batteries. And then during those times where the customer wants to use the UPS power, they don't want to use the grid power or bypass power, or the grid power is lost, the NTN5K inverters will be able to take power from the battery and then invert that to the output. And in this single cabinet here, you guys are welcome to come up later to charge your phones or to test them out. So we actually have two power strips under. One of the power strips is wired to a 120 volt AC output, and then the other power strip is configured to a split phase 240 volt AC output, and that is achieved within the same system. With the NTN5K, we're also able to configure with 3 units or 6 units to achieve 3-phase output with the inverter from battery. So this is able to sustain very high power UPS applications for your factory automation equipment or for any energy recycling facility that you would need. Okay? All right, and then finally, I want to take the last slide to introduce your solutions provider, Meanwhile. And at Meanwhile, we also have a subsidiary called Meanwhile Power Solutions that's located in Kansas City, Missouri, that we do power solution services. Meanwhile, we focus on the standard off-the-shelf power supply, but with Meanwhile Power Solutions, we inherit that standard power supplies, and we take those 15,000 different SKUs, we'll build them into solutions, customizable solutions for our customers that's ready to use and plug and play. So we specialize in design, certify, and manufacturing. We will work with your customers, work with you guys directly from the design stage to find out your power needs, how you want to mount them, how you want to install them, what's the environment, and then we will design that solution based on your requirements, dedicated to your application. And then we also work with local labs, or we work with our factory labs. Our Suzhou new factory actually has an accredited lab for EMI certification. So if your equipment is not as big, maybe it makes more sense to ship back to Suzhou and have it tested at our Suzhou facility. It is accredited to issue EMI and EMC certificates for CE, FCC, and other country EMC regulations. And then lastly, at the Kansas City facility, we do a lot of the value-added engineering and also manufacturing. So we can manufacture small-scale products for you guys locally, or we can build these large cabinets for you guys. And we'll assemble all the pieces, and we'll pack and ship locally to you guys. So it's able to save a lot of shipping costs and delivery times. And then combined with that, the Kansas City facility also acts as a logistics center for Meanwhile USA. So we can stock over 14 million USD worth of standard off-the-shelf power supplies. So that's basically having access to all those 15,000 SKUs at our inventory, at our back of the yard. So we can take those and we can combine solutions and we can deliver to you very, very quickly. Okay? And then before I move on, I want to just introduce the Meanwhile Expo halls. So the Meanwhile Expo is a great place to access information on all of the 15,000 different SKUs I talked about. And then you guys can scan the QR code, and we also have brochures with the QR code on there. Then you guys can access the link directly. So with the Meanwhile Expo, we have 8 halls specifically dedicated to the Meanwhile off-the-shelf products. And then we also have the C1 Automation Hall that will encompass solutions such as robotic arm that we're also promoting and we're carrying now, to all the way to the C4 hall on the bottom right, which will showcase solutions such as the one we have on display here. So if you guys are interested in working with us to create your ultimate power solution that is ready to use and ready to plug and play, please feel free to contact us at the Meanwhile USA locations below shown here. So these are our contact information. Please feel free to write them down or come up, grab some drinks or get some sweets, and we'll scan you guys and we'll reach out and work with you guys on your dedicated power solutions. All right, thank you very much, everyone. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to talk to us or get our contact information. We have our business cards at the show as well. Okay.
Gentlemen, sure.
So we do power supplies.
Okay.
So it used to be just Meanwhile Group. So specializing off-the-shelf power supplies, but we transitioned to the SDG Group, which encompasses 4 different companies. So meanwhile, we still focus on the power supply business, but we have PowerNext that is carrying automation solutions, robotic arms, or machine vision equipment, or SFT